Bobby's with us in New York. Hey, Bobby, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave, how are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I just have a quick question. I've been doing your plan since December myself. Paid off over $23,000. It's kind of a household name now in my home. But unfortunately, I'm having a little issue trying to educate my daughter with student loans that she's incurred because she went to school for a couple of years, decided not to go back, and now she's approximately $100,000 in debt with the student loans. And I'm just concerned because I don't think she's really taking it seriously like she should.
Wow. How old is she?
She's 20.
Okay. Does she live in your home?
She lives at home with us, kind of close, and I think she just thinks that she's still in high school at certain times, and she's really not taking this the adult way.
Yeah. Tell her she's got to move out.
Well, I've brought that up, but my wife seems to think that she won't be able to do it, and
oh yeah, she can do it.
I know she could do it, but that's the biggest problem is how would she be able to pay the student loans, and how would she be able to pay rent and car insurance and phone and everything else?
I don't know. She's not going to take your advice. I guess she needs to figure it out. Put her butt in the street.
I wish my mom could be listening to this right now.
Well, when your mom had done that to you?
She gave me the option when I was 19, and I actually moved out, and I did learn from what she was telling me.
Yeah. You found out later she was a genius. And the older you got, the smarter she got. Yeah. So, no, I'm serious. Here's the thing. No one is going to live under my roof that I love while I finance their immature, irresponsible behavior. It's not good for them. I love my kids too much to allow them to be crazy and me finance it.
Right.
So I want them to find their way one way or the other. The least painful way for your daughter would be for her to wise up and listen to her old man because he's a genius, okay? I'm serious as a heart attack because the best thing for this kid mathematically would be to go, okay, I'm going from 13 years old to 33 years old emotionally because I decided to today. And I'm going to get industrious, and I'm going to take 3 jobs and have the benefit of living at home with no rent and no food cost and no utility cost. And I'm going to attack these student loans with a vengeance because my dad convinced me that that's the best way for me to get out of this debt. And, I sit down with her and reason with her and tell her that that's what's going to happen. And if it is not going to happen, she needs to make plans to move in the next 2 months. Because you are not going to let her stay there and be a parasite.
But the other hurdle is myself and my wife, because then it causes a conflict between us.
Well, then your wife needs to understand what's the definition of an enabler.
Mm-hmm.
Because your wife is not helping your daughter, she is hurting your daughter. Because your daughter is continuing to live in a delusional state about how life works. Because your wife is allowing it. And so she's bringing harm to your daughter. See, people say all the time, Dave, that's tough love. No, it's love.
I love her.
Best thing for this child is for this child to become an adult.
Right. It
is the best thing because any eagle that does not leave the nest eventually becomes known as a turkey. It's a problem. And she's not going anywhere because her emotional growth is stunted.
Yes.
She's acting like she's 13.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not a bad kid. She's a
great kid.
She's just happy, doesn't care about anything because she doesn't have to care about anything.
Right.
And I want you to help her have some problems.
I'm trying to because I think it's going to be a big problem in June when the loans start kicking in as opposed to when they were supposed to in May 2025.
You know what the next thing's going to be if you don't fix this? If you and your wife don't get on the same page about this, the next thing is your wife's going to want you to start paying these loans for her.
Yeah, well, I think that's going to happen too.
Yep.
And I'm not doing it.
Yep. Well, that's coming too. So the conflict is coming if your wife doesn't start to understand what the best solution is for her daughter. And so it's not a matter of being mean. It's a matter of loving someone enough to help them to the shortest path out of their pain. And the shortest path is for her to listen to you, and you're moving into the street if you don't listen to me is a good way to get somebody's attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I really would do that. I mean, because I love her. You're not going to live under my roof and do cocaine. You're not going to live under my roof and smoke pot. You're not going to live under my roof and ... right? You and your boyfriend aren't staying in the bed upstairs. That ain't happening at my house. Okay?
I got those issues too.
You know, that kind of stuff, right? So it's just not happening under my roof. If you're going to do that kind of crap, you're doing it somewhere else and you're writing the checks. And so we had a real clear understanding with this of our kids growing up, and actually all the way through college, that we pay for their college, but you're going to behave and walk in such a way that you have a job and you're living on a budget and you're not misbehaving with your character while you went through school. And you're going to have a plan to get out of school in 4 years, and they all 4 graduate in 4 years. But we weren't mean to our children. We were tough enough on them to let them feel the realities of life so that it built muscles in their character. But your daughter has no muscle in her character right now, and she's a good kid. She's got the opportunity to do that. But if you don't get this going in the right direction, she's going to have a long decade ahead of her. By the time she's 30, she's going to hate her life. So I hope you guys can turn this around. Hope you and your wife can get on the same page and love this kid well.